What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this is a video that I've been meaning to make for a little while, not that long, but it's about the SEO kind of clash that's happening between Income School and Neil Patel. So many of you may have seen it. You've got Neil Patel on one side who's actually talking about SEO and content not being king, and then you've got Income School who are on the complete contrary to that, who actually say that content is the one thing that they can kind of attribute their success to. Now, I wanted to give my perspective on this today because, I have my own beliefs and I have my own kind of results from things that I've tested, to see what's worked for me and what hasn't. So I wanted to share that with you today so you can potentially use that and implement it into your business. So for those of you who don't know who Neil Patel is, he's just like a big SEO guy. He's been around for many years. You might have heard of Pat Flynn or anything. If you're into affiliate marketing, you've probably heard of these people. And what Neil Patel does is he's got this big blog, and he now owns a website called Uber Suggest, which is integrated with his actual brand, which is neilpatel.com. And it's basically essentially a free keyword research tool, and it does like on-page SEO. It scans all of your, your on-page, your outbound links, inbound, broken links, everything. It does quite a lot. I mean, it still needs some fine-tuning, but for free, you can't complain. Now, on the contrary, you've got Income School. These are two guys, Jim and Rick, who have built up a YouTube channel over the last year or so, but where their main success comes from is actually building niche websites. So they build these websites and they just use the content approach. So they build massives of content, and one of the sites that they're well known for is the improved photography. So that's Jim's site, and they've got like Camper Report, Dirt Bike Planet, all these different sites. They had a site called knifeup.com, which you can check out, but all of these sites are just niche websites about a particular topic. They rank these websites in Google and then basically live off the cash flow and reinvest that into following projects. So anyway, Neil Patel's a backlink guy. He actively builds the backlinks, and then with the Income School, they don't really do that. Like, they don't build backlinks, but they do get backlinks, and they don't say that backlinks aren't important, but they get them in a honest kind of way. So they don't actively go and build them, they actually naturally get them. Now you might be thinking, how do you do that? Well, if you've got good content and you kind of get it up, like you share it on social media and whatever else, there's ways of actually getting yourself to rank for reasonable keywords, providing that you do the right keyword research, which is difficult when you're a beginner because you don't know what's a good one from bad or what's highly competitive to not competitive, apart from looking at tools. That doesn't give you a 100% accurate answer. So they have mastered that kind of art of finding good keywords, and they manage to rank them using just like social media and things like that. Yeah. So anyway, then once you're at the top, you start to get backlinks. Yeah, because when you're doing an outbound link, you quickly do a search in Google, and then you just link to that article. Or if you see something good, you might link to it as well if it's helpful to your readers. So that's the way it works. Now, for me and my take and my kind of approach to things, I use the methods that I've learned from Franklin Hatchett. So many of you may know who he is. Now, he actually builds up these kind of ClickBank websites and niche affiliate Amazon websites. These sites, and his approach is, if you want to call it, grey hat in that sense. Yeah, and the only reason why is because he uses Web 2.0. So that's where you essentially, build up these mini blogs and you create your own artificial backlink to yourself. So it's a legit backlink, but you're basically building like a mini blog to look like someone else built it, so it links back to your site. Okay, so anyway, I do all of that. Yeah, I do that as well, Web 2.0s. But my take on it is this, because Neil Patel said if you built up 1,000 articles and you just did nothing else, you probably wouldn't see that much of an increase in traffic. And to be fair, that's probably true. But he didn't kind of give you a take on how long, because I do believe you will see a massive increase in traffic, but it just might not be immediate. So over the course of maybe 12 months or 24 months, you're probably going to see a significant amount of traffic increase. That's my perspective. Now, take it with a pinch of salt because I haven't been in the game as long as Neil Patel, okay? But from what I've seen, like, you know, how I actually accumulated a lot of traffic in the beginning with my site was mainly through, I did share it a bit on social media, but the main thing was just building out relentless amounts of content, because what that done is it built up a lot of trust with Google. So when Google can see that you're obviously consistently posting, it builds up a lot more trust with the actual, tool, the software, a search engine. I'm so silly. With the search engine. And basically, once that search engine starts to trust your website, it will then start ranking you for very similar searches and, you know, all these long tail, you know, low competitive keywords. So like that was my approach at the beginning. I kind of just wrote content. I honestly did. Like, you know, I wasn't into Web 2.0s. I never done that at the beginning. I did get a guy to build some, but I never linked them back to my site at the beginning. So I just had them sitting there. I only just recently started using those ones. So like, you know, at the beginning I was mainly just doing content, and that is honestly like what got me out of the sandbox and got me the first a bit of traffic. Like, it was mainly because I was just writing content. Now, do I think that's 100% everything? No, like I don't, honestly, because at this point, like, I use a mixture of the two. So I kind of think you need to be like, you know, like, you need to have content, yeah? So I'd say like, you know, a good 80% of your time should be spent around building good content. But then a good 20% of your time should be spent on getting backlinks and building up your authority, you know, and actually driving people to your site, because nothing happens like, you know, in some magic SEO kind of way. You need to actively go out and actually get people to your site. When you're building yourself up before you've established yourself, you know, you got to do that. Like, and then even when you do establish yourself, you still got to actively get people in. So I'm a strong believer in, you know, the 80-20 principle, sorry. So if I were to put 80% on something, I would definitely say it's content, because if you were to put 80% of your time on backlinks and have very little content, then, you know, you won't make that much money in that sense, because you won't have much content. So what I would recommend, you know, or my opinion on this is definitely that, you know, I don't believe that content is completely king, but it has a big weight on, you know, your success and of your website, and also your trust and authority that you build up with Google and other search engines as well. So I don't believe it's everything, but without content, if you remove that one thing, then there's no success. You know, if you remove backlinks, you still can have success, like guaranteed. You know, you can still, I've seen sites who have kind of no backlinks at all and are ranking and making money. So, you know, if you were to take one away from, you know, and replace it with the other, what one would be more important? And for me, I would say that content is. So I'm not going to say content is king, like, because I don't want you to kind of, you know, misunderstand the concept or the strategy, what I'm talking about. I think you need to have a mixture of the two. And if you were to put weight on one over the other, it would definitely be on the side of content over the backlinks at the beginning, definitely, 100%. I mean, once you've got a substantial amount of content, like, you know, 30 to 50 post articles, then you're probably going to, you know, want to go heavy on backlinking, off page and all of that kind of stuff, because there's websites that you see like 10beasts.com, if you haven't heard of that. And that's a website that like was pulling in like, I don't know what it does now, but I know it got to the point of doing like 30 to 40K per month with only like something like 15 articles or something like that. So that site only still now has like about, you know, 20 articles or something like that. So it hasn't really grown that much in content, but they've got these big, long, massive posts that are about, you know, 5,000 words a post. And then they went heavy on SEO. So they used like a lot of blog commenting and Web 2.0s and this scholarship technique, like, which is an older method that's not really widely used anymore. Although I did see a site using it recently and whatever else, but yeah, so, you know, that can be done. You know, you can have little content and then hugely go onto the backlinks as well. So I think there's like a fine ground that you need to find. And from my experience, I found that SEO is quite like a pressure point kind of thing. So wherever your site needs the pressure, that's where you apply it. I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.